is successful today, he'll be the first player from Serbia ever to win this particular title. That's what they're playing for. Djokovic, of course, has been there and done that. He's attempting to win a fifth Waterford Crystal Masters Series Shield. Whereas Murray, of course, has never, ever reached a Masters Series final before. So it's a big day for both. Djokovic coming into the match off the back of one of the best performances of his life yesterday. Put a stop to Rafael Nadal's 32-match winning streak in sensational fashion.
Absolutely. It was one of the best matches I've seen him play in a long, long time. The first set in particular was sublime. He really just hit Nadal off the court, punched holes in all corners of his game, and was simply unplayable. And even Nadal said that in the press conference afterwards.
And he'll be hoping, obviously, to be able to repeat that kind of form this afternoon. He's going to need to,
ladies and gentlemen,
because Murray
now direct your attention
beat
to
him last week.
As Bertie Helmick, formerly of the Cincinnati Opera, will sing the national anthems for Great Britain, Serbia, and the United States of America. We ask that you stand, remove your hats, and place your hands on your hips.
So the national anthems first before play gets underway. Bertie Helmick doing a nice job with the British national anthem. Equally well with the Serbian national anthem.
Can you see my dawn's light? What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, all the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that
saving the best till last, the American national anthem.
Over and the Hawkeye, so 3+1, please let me know in a timely and a clear way. And what is more, net machine, 25 cents between points, not easy with the heat, but I will remind you. So any questions? No. So please, Andy. Tails is called.
Mohamed Lyonese, the umpire.
Heads, please, your choice, Novak.
I'll start.
Start serving. Do you want a team photo as well here? So this side, okay. So 3 of us.
We've been standing there
So-
a while.
so you
They'll
too,
be
please.
anxious,
No.
I'm sure, to get this match underway. These two are good friends. A lot of respect for one another. Nice to see that they both wished each other well. So it promises much, this one. Murray and Djokovic have played some fantastic tennis throughout the course of the week. Djokovic, of course, beating Nadal yesterday, the only person to do so in the last 33 matches that the Spaniard has played. Murray, of course, beating Ivo Karlovic, the man that had dismantled Roger Federer's game earlier on in the tournament. Both players, Robbie, saving their best tennis to last.
I hope so. I hope they both play some of their best tennis today at the same time, because there is nothing better than watching some of the best players in the world go toe-to-toe, especially when they're playing well. Murray was outstanding yesterday, returned serve exceptionally well, and we know that's going to be important today for him, because Djokovic did serve so well yesterday in his victory over Nadal. So again, another nice battle ensuing in those departments.
Murray now just 21 years of age.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Has managed to win 5 singles titles throughout the course of his career. The first coming in 2006 in San Jose. He successfully defended that title the following season, added St. Petersburg to his haul, and this year has been a winner in Doha and Marseille. So looking to keep his 100% record intact on the final Sunday of ATP tournaments this year. Currently ranked 9 in the world, but on Monday, Robbie, that'll all change.
It sure will, and he will cement his place at number 6, irrespective of the outcome today. So that's a nice move. That win yesterday against Karlovic, a big one. Leapfrog a couple of players, and we've always said he deserves to be in the top 5 in the world with the amount of talent this young man has.
And so very close to achieving that goal now. He's also spoken very highly of the fact that it is very, very difficult to get your hands on a Waterford Crystal Masters Series Shield. He's come close in the past. He was a semi-finalist in Toronto in 2006, reached the last 4 in Indian Wells the following season, lost to Djokovic in Miami as well at the same stage, and of course lost last week to Nadal in the semi-final. So he came into this tournament playing well and has managed to capture some notable scalps. Only struggle really was in the opening set against Carlos Moya, where he started sluggishly, and he's going to have to make sure that that doesn't happen again today. Plenty of support for Murray, and there has been throughout the course of the week. Plenty of Brits and Scots in the house today. But he knows he's going to have to play well, because Djokovic, of course, has had a sensational season, has started it terrifically well. A winner in Australia, his very first Grand Slam title. Also managed to pick up a Masters Series Shield in Indian Wells, and again on the clay in Rome. But since then, Robbie, a little bit of a dent in his confidence and a dip in form. But he's managed to turn that all around, I think, with that one win yesterday.
Well, I think it's fair to say he was the best man on hard courts for the first quarter of the year, so he wanted to get back to winning ways, especially early on in this North American hard court season. Wasn't able to do it in his match last week against Murray, but as you say, the big catalyst was the win last night. What that would have done for his confidence and the way he played, he's probably going to fancy himself now going into the Olympics here and obviously the US Open.
And he's got an excellent record in Masters Series finals.
Outstanding 4-1 against the very best players in the world. And remember, more often than not, you're coming across Nadal and Federer in those big matches, and he's got the win over them a few times when it really matters.
Did struggle early on this week against the Italian in the second round, Simone Bolelli. Did well to get through that, and it's amazing how quickly things can change, isn't it?
confidence. I tell you what, if you could bottle that stuff and sell it, you'd be one of the richest persons in the world. Against Ernest Gilbert, it was solid. And then obviously yesterday against Nadal, well, what a shot in the arm. That's going to do him.
Now, of course, these two do have plenty of history. They've played 4 times on a hard court, 5 times in all. And the first was back in 2006 in Madrid. Djokovic won a tight 3-set encounter on that occasion, and then really duffed up Murray the next 3 times they played. In Indian Wells in 2007, a couple of weeks later in Miami that same season, and of course when they played in Monte Carlo earlier this year, Djokovic won comfortably on the clay 6-love, 6-4. But last week, Murray was able to get his very first win over Djokovic, and he did so in fine style.
Yeah, some great attacking tennis from Murray. That was the key. He took it to Djokovic, and for me the most important factor was that he jumped on Djokovic early on in that match and never really let Djokovic get back into that match. The second set was tight, but you always felt Murray had the upper hand, and I think that's going to be very important again today.
Well, interestingly, Djokovic said yesterday that he's learnt an awful lot from that defeat last week in Toronto. He wouldn't be specific about what he'd learned, but he said he certainly wasn't going to make the same mistakes again. He looked very tight in that match, didn't he? And Murray took advantage of it early on. And I think it's going to be important for him to start well again this afternoon.
And speaking of starting well, I think Andy Murray's going to have to start well as well in this match, because we know in 3 of his 4 matches this week, he's actually started quite sluggishly. And I think in a final, when there's so much at stake, it's not a position you want to find yourself in early on, is it, Jason?
No, it puts an awful lot of pressure on you. This is the Team Murray. Jez Green is the trainer that's been working long and hard on Murray's fitness, and he's done an exceptionally good job. His brother is courtside as well. He was playing doubles here, of course, this week. Former Wimbledon mixed doubles champion. And, of course, Andy Ireland, who is part of the team, works as a physio. He's had to work hard this week because Murray's had some problems with his knees, which he had to ice them after each and every match, but he says that he feels pretty good in that regard coming into the match. Conditions today are pretty warm, but both players by this stage in the tournament will be well used to it. Marian Vida knows how important it was to get that win yesterday against Nadal, and he'll be hoping that his charge can play just as well this afternoon.
Can I get a water, please?
Over 200,000 fans have streamed through the turnstiles here this week to watch the very best players in the world this afternoon.
Djokovic1
Treat in store for all of those lucky enough to have tickets. Andy Murray attempting to win his very first Masters Series Shield against Novak Djokovic. He's trying to add to his already impressive tally of 4. It's the best of 3 tie-break sets.
First set. Novak Djokovic to serve. Ready. Play.
Brilliant. The perfect start.
Well, those up-the-line shots from Djokovic are so dangerous when he changes direction on the ball like that. Takes it early, rushes his opponent. And always a good indication of how well he's playing and how well he's hitting the ball.
It's something that Murray did well against Djokovic last week in Toronto and has done well all week here, and that's take advantage of any looks that he gets at opponents' second serves.
Plenty of support for Djokovic. Milenko Tipsarevic just on the left, and to the right, Nenad Zimonjic, who will both be at the Olympics with him, lending support courtside.
It's an excellent serve. Djokovic has a good record against British players. Won 7, lost 1. Of course, that loss was last week in the hands of Murray.
Game. Djokovic. First game.
An excellent start, and that will help settle the nerves. This afternoon, Robbie, it's not just about trying to beat Djokovic as far as Murray's concerned, it's handling the occasion as well, isn't it?
Of course it is. Huge occasion for him. First Masters Series final. Prized possessions are those Waterford Crystal trophies.
And the Murray to serve.
First couple of service games are going to be very important for Murray, hopefully to settle into the match.
Love 15.
Doesn't matter how good you are, how many big matches you've played, there's always a little bit of nerves early on occasions as big as this.
Well, no Miles McLagan courtside, who's been coaching Murray throughout the course of the season. He's back home attending Arvin Palmer's wedding. And Murray was happy to oblige and let him go. But he's been speaking to him on a regular basis on the phone. And incidentally, Palmer was one of the 4 British players that Djokovic has played. They did battle in 2006 in the Davis Cup.
And if you remember last week, it was the forehand that Djokovic struggled with against Murray, and I think Murray will do well early on just to remind him of that fact. Perhaps pepper the forehand and send a message to Djokovic on the other side of the net, trying to plant the seed of doubt early on.
For service.
Well, both of these players have wonderful backhands, and therefore if you drop the ball short, that position's going to make you pay. Well, again, there was appreciation from Murray in regard to the quality of that shot. There's no question that Djokovic has been a lot more aggressive this afternoon than he was when these two met in Toronto last week.
One game on.
Well, it was absolutely vital But Murray managed to hold his opening service game, so that's a job well done as far as he's concerned. Not that easy for right-handers serving at that particular end, looking directly into the sun.
Love. 13 love.
It's amazing, really, that 12 of the last 15 Masters Series events have been won by either Federer, Nadal, or Djokovic. The only other players to triumph are Nalbandian and Davydenko. That's good stuff. Gives you a good indication of just how dominant the top 3 players in the world have been in the last couple of seasons.
40 love.
But of course, it's so nice now that we've got Murray in that mix as well.
Yes, because for a long time we've all thought that he belongs with that.
14, 15.
There's no question he belongs with that threesome. He had wins over the world #1 on 2 occasions. One earlier this year in Dubai, at this very same venue. 2005, if my memory is correct.
Game. Djokovic.
Some good serving.
Djokovic leads 3 games to 1.
So no breaks as yet. 2-1. Murray knows that he's going to have to play extremely well to get the better of Novak Djokovic this afternoon. But he does have an excellent record against top 10 opponents. Won 14, lost 17 throughout the course of his career. But he's 5-5 in 2008. So he will believe he can win this tournament this afternoon.
15 love.
A little wasteful. Djokovic will be hopeful that he can really punish Murray every time he misses a first serve, because the second does need improving. One of the things that he's going to be working on in the next couple of seasons.
A little unlucky from Murray here, just the ball clipping the top of the tape. Just a little bit of footwork adjustment from Novak. Changing direction, getting the ball at the top of the bounce. That enables him to hit down on the shot.
40-15.
For me, the battle today will be very much about who hits their forehand better. Djokovic can find his range like he did yesterday. I think it'll be a closer encounter than it was last week.
Okay, Murray. Two games on.
Plenty of support. They'll be delighted, I'm sure. But the honours are even in the early stages of this opening set. He's spoken at length this week about the importance of serving well whilst playing on a court as quick as this one here in Cincinnati. And he was delighted with that part of his game yesterday. Anticipation.
Yeah, I would have put my house on Murray going cross court with that easy forehand. It's his preferred shot. This one coming up right here. That's where the opening was. This time choosing to go down the line. Good anticipation from the serve.
Excellent use of that kick serve. Murray thrives off pace.
40-15.
We saw him return Karlovic's serve so well in the semi-finals. The Croat didn't mix it up at all. Djokovic already using his serve intelligently. Easy to mistime the ball like that when you're trying to make such a thin contact with it. You're trying to put a lot of spin on the ball. You've still got maximum racket head speed. You only have to be slightly off to end up with a serve like that.
It's 4 forehand unforced errors now for Djokovic so far in this match, and I think as it goes on, as it gets tighter, it'll be interesting to see how both players' forehands hold up in those important situations in this match.
Use of the serve in order to open up the court.
Advantage, Djokovic. Looks out, yeah.
Djokovic just wanting confirmation from the umpire. Getting it. So no challenge. Did look well long. I think confusion came as Murray almost half volleyed the ball.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Shot of no from Murray. He always expects to put the serve back in play if he can get his racket on it. For me, it's interesting that Djokovic forehand, because I think he hits it a lot better against left-handers than what he does against right-handers. I think when he's playing against left-handers and he's going to angle that shot towards the backhand, he puts a little bit more side spin on in order to get it cross-court. And I think that's why it's so solid when he plays against a player like Nadal. And the ball's coming at a different angle to him with the righties.
Net for service.
And I think he struggles a little bit more with that different looks the right-handers give him.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Serving very well so far. 81% his first serves have gone in. 17 of 21. Needs to keep that up.
Pressure was good. Skid on the line. You challenge? Mr. Murray's challenging the ball. Left baseline. Balls were good.
Well, he's challenging the overrule, which came speedily from the umpire. Did look good to the naked eye. Let's see what the official review had to say about it. Definitely good.
Advantage, Djokovic. Deuce. Mr. Murray has 2 turns remaining.
Tennis.
And I love it when Murray plays this aggressive style of tennis. His timing is so good, just leaning on this backhand, taking it nice and early. But it's the forward movement after he hits the backhand that produces the unforced error. Because it's Djokovic thinking he has to do something just a little bit extra to make a passing shot. from Murray. It was a big point. No signs of hesitation whatsoever. Again, a little unfortunate with the net cord intervening. But the attitude was right, and that's what's important on the big points.
Advantage, Djokovic.
It's a better forehand, hit with a lot of topspin, turning Murray around. It's good stuff. Had to work extremely hard in order to hold serve there. Took well over 10 minutes in order to do so. But he got there in the end. 3-2. There was real buzz around the stadium court because this final has started very well. Entertaining tennis, lots of really good rallies, a little bit of drama as well already, with Djokovic having to fend off a break point in that previous service game that lasted well over 10 minutes.
Time.
Interestingly, Mohamed Layani, the umpire there, just telling Djokovic that he needs to speed up a little bit when serving between points. So he's been warned. We'll keep an eye on that situation.
Well.
Well, fascinating really to take note of what Murray's doing with his serve from a tactical viewpoint, peppering the Djokovic forehand with his first serves. Those are the yellow balls when serving to both the right and the left court.
Well.
Well, this time mixing it up nicely, going to the backhand, just perhaps catching Djokovic off guard. It's frustrating him because he's not getting a read on the serve. Missing a few forehands. Now backhand.
And Murray.
And I think both players have done a really good job so far on the serve of mixing it up. because we know both players love to return and they love to get into a rhythm when doing so.
That's why variation is so important. It's not always about bringing on the heat, as we saw yesterday with Ivo Karlovic. Brought on the heat far too often, and Murray made him pay dearly for it. Broke him 4 times in that match.